I eat a lot differently than I ate before, of course, living off of fruits and vegetables, as you guys see me running around with my jars of juice and whatnot. And you know, Ryan and Maria are participating in this, and we really like the lifestyle a lot, and that's why I brought Dan in for that purpose, okay? So with all that being said, Dan has over 14 million views on YouTube. He has over 1,150 actual videos that he's put up there to share this with people, because he's blessed with it. He believes in it thoroughly, and he's made it his life. And that's why I wanted to bring him in, so you could hear it from his side, like all the things that, like what the different YouTube videos that we watched through my wife and I, got me to where I'm at today because of that. Okay, so with that, here's Dan McDonald.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to take up your valuable time. I will be as brief as I can be. I tend to be long-winded sometimes. But I really just want to make sure that when I get an opportunity to share like this is very unique for me. A group full of professionals. I think a first time, usually hippie types and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm not going to try to convince you of anything. You know? 12 years ago I read a book about raw foods, and I had, my life was not in good shape. All the things you can imagine a young man does, I was doing those things. And the raw food book gave me hope. I had already been bodybuilding and drinking wheatgrass while bodybuilding, drinking carrot juice. So I had this idea, like I would drink wheatgrass and my workouts would be a lot better. I was, 200 pounds, so add 50 pounds to this. Now I'm a toothpick because all I eat is fruit and meditate and do yoga. But, so don't worry, that won't happen to you unless you want it to. But anyways, I'm just here to inspire people. I've been working on the YouTube for about 3 years now. A week ago, 3 years on YouTube. And we've gone around the world a couple times and helped many hundreds of thousands of people, is my best guesstimate. And it's usually people, what I hear a lot of times is I was praying and then I found your videos, because I work for the man upstairs, if that's okay with everyone. There's a lot of sickness, there's a lot of disease. Everyone looks relatively healthy, no one's laying down in a wheelchair, I'm sure everyone can get up and walk, but we've helped people that couldn't walk to walk again, people with cancer to be free of that again. And so basically what I do is tissue regeneration, but it's also life regeneration. My name is the Life Regenerator on YouTube, which I regenerated my own life from a life of debauchery and homelessness, poverty, drug addiction, alcoholism, etc. And slowly but surely, for sure. But the food gave me hope, it gave me balance in my mind. A lot of the foods that are laced with chemicals designed to addict us, get into the bloodstream, go into the brain, and cause a lot of emotional turmoil, behavioral disorders in children and adults. The adults handle it a little bit better. It's very subtle, but it's very powerful. And only when you get free from those things do you see the realness of it, the clarity of mind that's possible, that what this life could really be about for human beings, if they were to take the path of nature. And one of the simple things that I share with people on the YouTube is that no animal in nature has ever cooked its food. Cooking the food, altering the chemistry, denaturing the fats, denaturing the carbohydrates, creating longer bonds, longer chain fats, clogging up the kidneys, clogging up the liver, backing up the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a series of tubes in your body that is the immune system. And when the lymphatic system gets backed up, that's when we get overweight, that's when we get disease, that's when we get cancer, that's when we get headaches, that's when we get mucus, that's when we get colds, sicknesses, etc. The list goes on and on. We're living in a pretty sick society. Like I said, I'm not trying to convince anyone. I just kind of have a gift, and I just do it. I'm not here to, be praised or anything. It's just fun for me. What it's done for me is amazing. And so I just went on YouTube one day, and the whole thing snowballed out of control. And I've studied this stuff very, very rigorously. And I help a lot of medical doctors as well, believe it or not. Medical doctors come to me to help them to get well, because in the medical model, what you've got is the treatment of symptoms, okay? So let's say you have a disease, or you have pain, inflammation, something that's maybe killing you and taking away your life, and you can feel it every day. Would you want to just suppress that symptom so that it's out of your awareness temporarily until another symptom arises? Or would you rather eradicate the cause and return to a state of health? Is there anybody here who would like to have more energy? Wow, so that's just about unanimous. That's beautiful. I'm in the right place. I work at the level of energetics. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm an energetics of consciousness specialist. That's at the highest levels. This is a very sophisticated group, otherwise that wouldn't have came out. But, so is there anybody here who'd like to lose a little weight? Or a lot of weight? Okay, wow, so about half of you? A little more than half? I'm very, very excited about my weight loss programs that I have. I've helped people to lose a pound a day easily at the higher levels. You know, when you're trying to lose that last 10 pounds, you can't expect to lose that in 10 days. You got to work out a little harder, eat a little cleaner. And is there anybody here who's on medications? Okay, so that was progressive. That's good. You guys are a healthy group, because most groups there'd be at least half the people. So there's a lot of young professionals in here. So let me get to you before it gets to you. You know what I mean? And let me just encourage you. I mean, I could tell you everything in 5 minutes. Less than that. One sentence. Fruits, vegetables, and love. Okay, my job is done. That's all you need to know. But there's some details and there's some inspiration. And going over information like this, that's why I say the same thing on YouTube over and over and over again. I've been saying the same thing every day for 3 years, you know. And fruits, vegetables, and love. Because the mind wants things to be complicated. That's the nature of the human ego. But the truth is so simple. And as you go down this road, and I'm awake enough now to know that I'm still asleep. But as you awaken, the truth becomes more and more simple. And I eat a diet predominantly of just fruits and green juices and salads. So that's why I'm so thin, you know what I mean? But I like being thin. I think that I'm actually more normal than average if you understand lymphatics, the excess mucus that most humans are carrying around. And it's obstructing like this real high vibrational energy that can flow through you, which is the energy of healing your body. So anybody that wants more energy is going to have to amp up the nervous system with fruits, remove the mucus, pus, bacteria, viruses that have accumulated in the lymphatic system, in the lymph nodes. And you're going to have to enhance the energy of your cells. So that's why I teach raw foods, because raw foods, raw living foods equals life. And the humans they're not even aware of it yet, the possibilities, because you have to do it in order to see. So we're here to introduce a productivity enhancement program. You're my very first group. So again, thank you for letting me come here and share this, because I would really love to do this more often and share with people how they can enhance the quality of their life in major ways. Here's the last question. Is there anybody in here who would like to make more money? Yeah. That's always 100%. You know what I mean? That's always 100%. Why? Because money is an extremely useful tool in this modern world, is it not? Does anyone in here have dreams, goals, visions, hopes? Yeah? Y'all don't have to raise your hands for that one, because the whole universe puts a dream in your heart. Whether you're asleep to it or not, most people never get to see their dream come true. They never get to do what they're meant to do. And electricity runs in your brain when you're doing what you want to do. It goes down your nervous system, and it's happening to me right now, because this is what I'm born to do. Not all of us are born to stand up here and talk about fruits and vegetables, tissue regeneration, and energization. Some of you are more supportive types. I'm more of a leader type. But we're all here, we're all cogs in the wheel. And there's one thing that's true, that if we all had more energy and mental clarity, we would easily be able to see what our dream is and make that happen. It's really great when you've got this raw energy flowing through your body, because you can just go, you know what? What can I do with my life? What do I want to do with my life? I'm the freest guy in the world. And you can have that. You can create that if you have the energy to do that, and the courage to be yourself, to be totally free. You know? Once I leave here, guess what? I can leave here on Tuesday and do anything I want with my whole life. I can go to Hawaii. I can go anywhere I want. I can do anything I want. I can go sleep somewhere for 2 weeks. And that's some of the freedom that you can get with the creativity as your consciousness expands. You know, it does take some courage. There were some, in fact, I'm always being challenged. YouTube, you know that. It's a crazy place. They'll pick you apart. You got to be strong. But it's because I love people, and I love this truth, and I love to see people's lives change. I love to hear the stories. I love to hear the weight loss stories. I love it when people get rid of cancers and tumor. I love the story of the lady who couldn't walk for 3 years. She had to stay in bed. First she had someone start bringing her the juices. A week later she's up making the juices herself. 3 weeks later she's out walking around living a normal life. Why? Because she brought the living bioelectrical energy that only can come from fruits and leafy green herbs and soaked nuts and seeds. The fruits vibrate the highest. So if you really want to enhance your mental performance, you will eat more organic, fresh, tree-ripened, in-season, closely picked fresh food that you can, and enhance the brain that way. The herbs heal. The green juices will heal, alkalize, and regenerate. So what happens is the inflammation causes pain. The alkalinity disperses it. Fruits and vegetables are the alkaline-forming foods. High water. So what I like to say is hydrate, alkalize, detoxify, regenerate, and then enhance the electricity in your body. Enhance the functionability of the trillions of cells in your body. And that's the basic underlying principle. And the foods that feed the cells in your body are the fresh fruits and the leafy green vegetables, predominantly. So like I said, I'm not trying to convince you of anything, but my mission is to make fruits and vegetables hip again. Sexy. Cool. Because believe me, I know fruits and vegetables are very, very, very cool because of what I've seen it done for hundreds of thousands of people. The fiber keeping your colon clean. The water in the watermelons and the cucumbers keeping your kidneys clean. And when your kidneys are clean, your adrenals work. And when your adrenals work, you sleep at night and you produce neurotransmitters, steroids that make you feel good. And when you get adrenal burnout and you get the bags under your eyes and you're tired all the time, it's because your kidneys are backed up and your adrenals aren't producing the proper steroids. And your thyroid gets clogged up from too much dairy, too many processed grains. And the acids, crystals formulated in the body from too many animal products. And guess what? The fruits and the veg, melt that away. Melt those acid crystals away. Eliminate the pain and the suffering. And most people have to get to the dead end before they come to me. Because they don't want to, the food is addicting. That's why I have a lot of compassion for people. Because the food has chemicals in it that are more powerful than heroin. And the laboratories are making these foods, and they have security that's better than Fort Knox so that you don't get the secrets. And then you wonder why you're addicted to McDonald's and Wendy's and Chick-fil-A or whatever. And it takes a long time to break this stuff and a lot of hard work. But the health that you can achieve and the mental clarity to make your dreams come true and to live a life of high productivity, in my opinion, is worth it. So you start out real slow and you just start eating more fruits and vegetables today, and those foods go into your cells and they begin waking the cells up, and then intuitively it guides you into a better diet. And then, I mean, I could sit here forever and go on and on, but I'm not going to do that to you. So, you know, does this sound pretty good to anybody? I mean, makes sense? Cool stuff? Cool. So, I mean, you guys could just team up, and no one has to do anything or go out and do anything drastic, but just let these seeds soak into your mind. That's all I ask. Because one day you may be able to use this stuff. One day you may need to come to my channel when the doctor says you need to go on dialysis or you have a tumor in your breast or whatever. You might not take it seriously now, but one day you might want to see your kids go to high school I get every kind of thing that you can imagine. Depression, anorexics come, eat the raw foods, and finally their food issues resolve themselves. Overweight people, I helped so many people that were so morbidly obese that just went raw and lost, like, I had a friend who lost 200 pounds in 1 year and totally transforms your life. Raw food and fruits and vegetables will transform your life in ways that you can't even imagine until you do it. I've seen it so many times now, and it continues to work as you do this more and more. I go to the point now where I just ate watermelons the day before yesterday. That's all I ate. It's all my body wanted. Sounds kind of weird, but I woke up the next day on a whole new level of clarity, you know? And then yesterday I got high on durian, and that is some epic stuff. I hope you brought some for me today. Oh, God, I'm going to need that. You guys are a tough crowd, man. I appreciate your time. Are there any questions? Yes?
I have a question. It's two-part. What about protein that is so important for the body? You know,
Is protein important for the body? Actually, protein is making most of my clients sick because the protein myth is killing more people than any other lie that's ever been told. I never think about protein. Now, I'm a skinny little dude, but if I wanted to get protein, I would want to be strong like a gorilla or an elephant or a horse. What do they eat? Grass and leaves. The amino acids in green foods are 100 times more beneficial because your body cannot use protein. Your body has to break down the animal flesh, extract very small amounts of amino acids, and recycle those. But if you go straight to the plant, you've got amino acids easily absorbable to build your own high-quality protein structures. The excess acid from meat, a little bit of meat I think is okay. We did adapt with it. I think it's a survival mechanism for the human race, animal protein for northern climates. In my opinion, we are tropical species, primate-ish, and frugivorous. And once you eat fruit predominantly as your diet, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because you eat fruit, you poop out yesterday's meal, you don't use toilet paper, your breath doesn't stink, you never run out of energy. Nope. Your breath never stinks. You're always, everybody says, dude, you smell so good, you know? And that's because your body fluids are not fermenting. There's a lot of stuff in people's, right here. Once you get this cleaned out and everything's functioning, you should eat and poop within a half an hour. And it'll be out. You want to keep your colon clean. The colon is the hub of your body. So the protein myth has been exploded so many times because protein is excessive in the body. The body cannot use it as an energy fuel. It's a very, very inefficient source of fuel. It can be used as a fuel source in emergencies, but it makes a lot of acid metabolic waste, and it's the metabolic waste that's killing everyone. Does that answer the protein question?
Yeah, and then I had one other one as far
Can I get you in a sec, Pete?
diabetes. I mean, can you eat it? I don't have diabetes. If you're disposed to it.
Yeah, raw foods gets rid of diabetes in 4 days.
So fruit does not allow
No, because fruit is fructose, and it absorbs right through the stomach wall into the cells. It's the only fuel that does so. So there's no insulin required for the absorption of fructose. That's why fruit is so awesome. That's why I say eat your fruit whole and drink your vegetables. The cellulose in vegetables takes a little more digestive energy, and so you lose a little bit of brain power. But when you just absorb when you just absorb the fruit sugars and you keep the fiber, you get instantaneously, you get energy right to the brain, right into the blood, right into all the cells, and slowly through the course of several hours, sugars are still extracted in the small intestine as peristalsis continues to absorb sugars. So the fruit is very balancing. I have a friend who cured diabetes in 4 days. Now that's type 2. Type 1 is going to take some work because you're born with that genetically, but it can be reversed. There's nothing that cannot be reversed. Now, of course, the medical doctors are going to argue with me, but that's their training. That's not their experience. What I've seen time and time and time again, there's nothing that cannot be eliminated. There's no incurable disease. There's a world full of incurable people. Because the work that's required is a lot of work. To give up the junk and to eat the living food, to eat the raw food. But it is a beautiful thing, because when you get some tree-ripened mangoes or a ripe papaya, you know you're in heaven. So you got to find good fruit, and you got to find fresh vegetables, and you do the best you can with what you got. I say recommend the daily juicing habit. We're going to get started on some juice. We're going to do some raw tacos later, which I know you guys are going to love, with walnut taco meat, lots of fresh veggies and stuff. And then we'll do a smoothie later. Oh, it's epic. The tacos. Go ahead.
What about raw fish? You don't eat that because that's protein.
Yeah, raw fish. I would say if you're going to eat meat, eat it raw, because then the enzymes are they digest better. I don't eat any animal products.
But don't you need protein to build muscle?
Yes, you do. So but you need amino acids to build muscle. And then the green plants, like would you want to arm wrestle with the gorilla? And he might, now see the gorilla, they might eat 1 to 2% animal protein. Grab a rodent, eat it raw. The protein thing is all designed by certain groups of people that sell protein. I call them the protein peddlers. But really it becomes a waste product in the body for the most part, because you can only absorb a certain amount of amino acids and the rest of it sits. And what happens is the rancidification and putrefaction of protein is probably one of the #1 killers, ruining the nervous system. And it's what it is it's the viruses and the bacteria that go in there to eat up the metabolic wastes, and those little bacteria and viruses, they poop. And that is the acid waste matter. And that is what makes your armpits stink and the back of your neck stink. And that's what makes you have bad body odors and pain and inflammation, because these little critters, they're trying to keep up. They're your friends. They're the garbage crew. Because we've got a lot of garbage sitting in us. And they come in and they chew up and they poop out. Eat, poop, and then you have some real issues. And the waste burns holes in your digestive system, and the problems just continue on from there. So you want to get into an alkaline state, and you want to have those easily absorbable amino acids. I would say nuts are even better, but you don't want to eat too many nuts either. But the leafy green plant foods create amazingly beautiful flesh, beautiful muscles. And you have to work out as well. A lot of people, they want to build muscle, but hardly anybody ever really gets fit. But once you start eating more raw foods, you will have to exercise. I don't have a choice. I'll probably have to go out sometime today. Otherwise the energy will get too much, and I'll need to release it. So I'll go for a quick jog or do something, or some yoga somewhere by myself, because you have to exercise on raw foods. Most people think exercise is work. I say never exercise. Always go out and play. Do something fun. Gardening. I love to walk. I love riding my bike. I love yoga. Because when you have the energy from the light food, you really want to go out and live and love. Love your life. That's what it's about. If you don't get anything else from me today, let me tell you that, let me encourage you to love yourself enough to make your life what you want it to be. What the Creator put in your heart, to be what you're supposed to be, so you can be happy when you look in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You're stuck with you. All these people here in this room, the likelihood of them being in your life 20 years from now is probably not that high. But you're going to be right there, stuck with you. So that's why I try to encourage people to make your life the best you can make it. And I just use raw foods as a platform, because it's practical, pragmatic. But then I step it all the way up to all the highest levels you can imagine. All the way to enlightenment, to where you're just total peace at all times. And it's possible. I've seen it. I've tasted it. I'm going for it myself, And I'm using food as a way to learn about myself and life. And then so I've learned so much about it that I just have this duty to help people, because it is quite simple. It really is. Any other questions? Pete?
Yeah, Dan, I had two questions that I wanted to ask you. So I have an open mind to any kind of protein intake or anything that can help me lose my last 60 pounds. And,
they're not my last 60 pounds. They're the last 60 pounds. That'll help you right there big time.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to hold on to those, go ahead and call them mine and coddle them. Or you can say, get rid of the weight.
Right.
Get rid of the disease.
Correct.
You dig?
I do. My first question is about the muscle tissue. Okay, I've always, I know it's, we call it a myth. Okay, but for hundreds and hundreds of years, people have been eating protein to feed the muscle tissue. If that protein can be, absorbed by, nuts or beans or sprouts, that's fine. I'm totally fine with that. But when you were talking about tissue, isn't feeding the muscle part of, eating protein, that's why people do, is to feed the muscles. So when you get old and like you're 60 or 70 and your ankles are weak, you see a lot of old people fall down and they break a hip or they break an ankle because they didn't feed the muscle, they didn't have it hard enough through eating protein. Just curious.
Well, actually, sugar feeds the muscle the best. Sugar feeds the muscle. Every cell in your body runs on sugars. That's the one thing that humans haven't caught on to yet.
So it's not protein, sugar is actually more.
Yes, of course we need amino acids for tissue repair, but who's working out 6 times a week intensely doing squats, deadlifts, that they're going to need that much protein? Everybody's just, you do?
Oh, no, I just want to ask.
Everybody, cool, right on, I'll work out with you.
What kind of sugar?
So,
What kind of sugar?
what's that?
What kind of sugar?
Fructose,
Natural.
with antioxidants, astringent properties, things that scientists doesn't
I'm a
know.
diabetic, I don't eat sugar.
So how's your energy?
Terrific.
Okay, so you're good, you don't need me.
Dan, the second thing I wanted to tip, the second thing I wanted to tip on was, as far as the fruits, for I used to be diabetic, I was already diabetic. There are some people with sugar problems in here. I no longer have any, knock on wood. But I was wondering your opinion on like glycemic load, like when you said about the fruits. Like I wouldn't, even right now, I'm trying not to eat any citrus or anything high in glycemic load, like a melon or anything like that. That's like that would like his sugar would go through the roof. This guy'd be urinating all night if he ate citrus. It would break down into the pancreas. So I guess my point is, I stuck with antioxidants to reverse my diabetes, like all berries, like tons of berries, but like was wondering if I could have did it like eating citrus, like you said, or eating watermelon or melons. I'd love to do that. But I always feared it in my mind, thinking that this is going to spike my insulin,
Yeah.
break into my pancreas, and be pissing all night. So
You have to watch your sugars. You do, because you can't spend your whole life making yourself sick and then think this dietary program is going to do something for you overnight. You have to slowly work it, some steamed veggies. You got to work it. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You can't just go from having rotten meat sitting in your gut, go to a fruitarian diet and a broken down pancreas. Your pancreas is wore out because of all the starchy carbs. Starchy carbohydrates, the pancreas goes on overload because you just ate a pile of rice or bread, and your pancreas is just, what happens is we have an enzyme load. Raw foods contains enzymes. Cooked food, you burn up the enzymes. So now you're taking metabolic enzymes from the organs, glands, and tissues to digest your food. My food digests itself because it's raw. So it just goes in there, digests itself, and all of it goes straight to my brain, and I can eat and go out and play. I can have Thanksgiving dinner and go out right afterwards and play. I don't need to take a nap.
So for a diabetic, we couldn't really actually tell them that they can eat oranges or that type of thing. Citrus.
Well, my friend, who's the diabetic expert and heals more people of diabetes than anyone on the planet, actually uses fruit to heal diabetes and tissue-specific herbs. And so the type 1 is very hard, the type 2 is easy. That's why I like to use the fruits and the green juices, because you do have to go slow and methodically. It's helpful to have someone to work with that can gauge your progress, look into your eyes, do your blood tests.
The problem with that is my girlfriend just went on a big diet. She lost 50 pounds, and part of the diet was 1 or 2 days a week she ate all fruit, okay, all organic fruit, oranges, apples, whatever. Problem with that, I'm a type 2 diabetic, and if I eat too much citrus, like he said, it skyrockets. The problem is trying to level off. It's either here or it's down here, and then I gotta eat citrus to get it back up again.
Right.
Now, you
Interesting.
say juices.
Green juices.
Is that gonna change you?
I have a friend of mine who was dying of every disease you can imagine, and diabetes was at the top of the list. In 4 days, he cured his diabetes and never went back on any of the meds. 4 days on green juice. 4 days on green juices. This happens time and time and time again. For some people, it takes a week. Type 2 diabetes, incurable. It's incurable to the medical community because they don't have a clue about anatomy, physiology, and
Oh, they know.
organology. What's that?
The medical community knows, they just don't want you to know.
Well, because you guys are too profitable. I just sell information. I'm like a Chinese doctor. I don't get paid unless you get results.
Right.
And I'm not even here to get paid. I love it so much. The pay is the fire in my head and the warmth in my heart that comes when I get to do this. And I have people crazy enough to sit here and listen to this stuff. You know what I mean? have me come in and just do my little dream here. But you know what? There's more profundity going on here than we can even imagine. A few of you, I think, might even take this on. A few of you already have lost a lot of weight. The levels, it doesn't stop. You just keep getting better and smarter and clearer and happier and more clear and more content and more peaceful and more illuminated. And it's just, it's a life path. It's like, it's the path of life. It's the path, it's like an eternal path, your eternal soul. But yet you're using the body as an opportunity to learn about nature's laws. And when you tap into nature's laws, you can begin to tap into the cosmic laws, and you can find a way to keep peace no matter what's going on in your life. And you can keep your energy in your body. You can heal your whole body of any disease. Are we good?
We're good. Go ahead.
I switched to mostly all fruit and stuff, and I buy at Publix, you know, they cut it in the back and then they put it out. I buy the pineapple and the berries and all that stuff. What would be the difference in buying that fruit? What would be the advantages to going and spending the more money and going and buying the organic fruit towards all the fruit and vegetables that I buy in the regular grocery stores at Publix?
Very good question. You look great, by the way, bro.
Thanks, bud.
There is a difference in fruit. If I go to my friend Barry, he owns a fruit farm. He cultivates the soil with the deepest, richest nutrients for many, many years. He sings to the trees. He lets the trees ripen all the way to the very end, to where you just, and you catch the one that falls. Totally ripened with the sugars, ripe with the minerals from the soil. A lot of that stuff, they don't give a crap. They just want an orange thing hanging off the tree. They're not thinking. So you got to think of the intention of the farmers. So we went over to Josh's thing yesterday. That dude knows what's up. I'll go around this planet and I might meet one or two more people like Josh again before I leave that know what's going on. That you want to go to the coconut tree in Hawaii, climb up there, pluck that thing off while it's bzzz. The oranges in the store that were picked 3 months ago, they're like, there's a little life left in there. There's some living water, some antioxidants, you know, there's some astringent properties to tighten the cells up. But when you go out to a tree, like all the animals in nature, they're eating that fresh, living food right now. There's an electrical vibration. It's all about the vibration for me. I'm a strange space cadet alien here on Earth. I want the electricity in those foods. I'm not a nutritionist. I have no interest in nutrition whatsoever. I want energy. That's why I'd rather drink wheatgrass. It's alive. I cut it, I juice it, I drink it. It goes into my blood. There's electricity flowing through my nervous system. So those foods that are organic, grown in better soil with more minerals, and taste better, if they taste better, you're gonna eat them more. If you eat a cardboard apple, one of those ones, it's like it looks real nice. It's like, yummy. You're about another year later, you're gonna eat an apple. But you eat a nice, organic, in-season Fuji. You know what I mean? Or a truly tree-ripened papaya, but you gotta source good fruit, and that's the beauty of my life, the Life Regenerator. Everywhere I go, people, hey, come to my farm, come to Hawaii, come here, come there. I got all this stuff, you know? And I get the freshest, best stuff, so it makes it easier for me. So at first, you gotta try real hard to learn how to pick out good fruit. Once you pick out that good fruit and you get into this, you begin to get intuitive. You can go, oh, you know, the cherries are in season. So you walk into Whole Foods with no plan. Walk into Whole Foods, the cherries. They're sticking out. Why? Because they just came off the tree 3 days ago. And when your intuition wakes up, you see the aura of the cherries. You walk straight to it and you know you're eating cherries for 3 days. Nothing else. And by that time, then you're good to go. For real. So, does that answer the question? I mean, it really does. The better fruit that you get, grown from someone who cares, big time difference. More questions. No pesticides. And the intention of love. Like when the farmer that cares, the food tastes better. I put love into all this food, into every juice I make, every salad I make. People make the same recipe and it doesn't taste the same. Why? Because the love is always there. I love what I do. I'll serve you all till the end of time. Juices and smoothies and salads and chopped fruit for you as long as you want. And you'll taste it today in the juice, which is waiting for you. I prepared it with love. I hope it energizes you. get you started. I hope that something I said today penetrates. If you want to check out my videos on YouTube, you can ask Chris here what to, where to find that. Life Regenerator on YouTube. Get into it. Is there one last question real quick? And
I mean, equally important to what you eat is when you eat it.
Yeah.
The activities of what you do before and after your meal.
That's
Can you
right.
elaborate on that a little bit?
I love that one. That's huge. Most people, they have a lot of diseases because they don't sit down to eat. They run by they're eating a cheeseburger as they're doing their office work or talking on the phone. For me, when I sit down, it is a sacred ceremony. I like to stop because people are eating under stress. So what's happening? They're just absorbing more stress into their energy body. So you got to go sit somewhere, and if you got a problem, don't even eat. Go sit somewhere, meditate, take a nap, get a massage until your spirit is right. And then you want to sit down quietly. I prefer to be by myself because I don't want questions, or I can sit with my girlfriend and say, let's just not talk. And get into it and really see what you're doing. You're energizing every cell in your body. You're waking your life up with the food, no matter what it is that you're eating. If you're in a state of stress and your nervous system is shooting off stress hormones, you're just absorbing more stress as you eat. But if you get calm, peaceful, relaxed, chill out, eat some good food, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you're going to eat cookies, you've got to be chilling at peace. Otherwise, you're going to be eating stress cookies. There's stress cookies and there's chilling cookies, and you want to be chilling. So when you go to eat, you want to kick back, lay back. I like to take my clothes off if I can, take my shoes off, relax, and get mango juice all over me, and then jump in the pool after that, or the ocean. I make it's a religion for me. And everything I do, I try to make it a sacred moment in my life, because this life is so precious. That's the underlying message. No matter what you eat, where you live, who you are, what your religion is, skin color, you are a precious and divine creation. And that's just that. If you get anything else, just get that. And you owe yourself to take care of yourself in the best way that you can, with no criticism, judgment, but just nurturing. All right? Can you dig it?
Yes, sir.
Right on. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, so Dan's here for 2 days with us, okay? He's here because we need a lot of energy, excitement, and enthusiasm when we sell, okay? And back in the warehouse, they need a lot of energy back there to pack all the orders and ship all the orders. So the big thing is that if you want to participate in this challenge and try and go raw for 2 straight days and see how you feel when you wake up tomorrow morning after you've eaten raw all day, you know what I'm saying? That's the challenge. If you want to do it, we have food for you here. If you don't want to do it, you want to just say, well, I can't go all the way raw. I just want to go maybe 75% raw. That's cool too. But we have carrot juice.
Carrot, apple, ginger juice to start. Tacos later on today.
That's
raw taco bar.
Yep. So that's on the table. So you just go grab your juice, go back to work, and then we're gonna have our normal lunch time at 12:30.
What time is it now?
10:30. Probably close to 1.
Bust our butts.
Yeah,
on
probably
tacos.
1 o'clock. We're having raw tacos.
And if there's anything I can do for you to make it easier, come and talk to me. I'll hook you up. We got all kinds of food.
Yeah, if you get hungry in between or something like that, you're like, oh, I can't make it to lunch. Just get more juice in you. Okay?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Nice. Thank you, everyone. Peace.